Hi guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about why I moved to Berlin from Vancouver. So I've gotten this question a few times on Instagram. Why did you move to Berlin? Why did you choose Berlin out of all the places in the world to go? And I know it might seem a little unorthodox because so many of the people in like the spiritual or like law of attraction community would choose somewhere like Bali over a place like Berlin. And trust me, I love Bali. Like actually I could maybe live in Bali someday. Who knows? But Berlin has been kind of a thing I've wanted to do for a really long time. So when I meet people in Berlin, like the first question I always get is, why did you move here? And what people really mean by that is, did you move here for work or did you move here for a guy? Because apparently those are the only two options in life. And I did neither of those things. So my Berlin journey probably started about 10 years ago, honestly. It was when I was still with my ex-husband. He was interested in working for some companies here. We had thought about coming here. We'd even had some friends at the time that we were looking at real estate and thinking about investing in like a vacation property here. So obviously none of that stuff worked out. But Berlin has been sort of a plan in my mind for a really long time. When my ex and I split up, one of the first things when I was in my panic mode, like what am I doing with my life mode, I thought about coming here then, but I didn't. So I decided to stay in Vancouver and sort of rebuilt my life in Vancouver, and I am so glad I did. I'm so glad I did, because I think if I had moved to Berlin right away at that point in time, I would have felt like I was running away. So I didn't run away. I stayed in Vancouver. I went and got a job, like the first job that I applied for and got, which turned out to be a good thing, but it wasn't maybe the best thing for me, but it ended up being a really good thing for me. It was a learning experience. That is another story. But I rebuilt my life there. I remade friendships as just being me as a friend, because I've always had this other person who kind of eclipsed me in friendships. So it was interesting to go back and rebuild these relationships with people as a one-on-one instead of being part of a couple. And I mean, like, that's not to say that every relationship, every marriage would have an experience like that, but in my particular case, that's what it felt like. I felt like I was just always part of this other thing that kind of outshone me. So it was really empowering and really lovely. And I mean, it sounds so silly now, but it felt really good to realize that people wanted to be friends with me for me and not because I was part of this other thing. So I'm really glad I stayed in Vancouver. However, I started to feel a little trapped and a little maybe like I made the wrong decision. And I don't really believe in wrong decisions. I think it's all just a journey. But I had bought another flat in Vancouver. I renovated it, and I mean, I love that place. I wish I still had it, but unfortunately I had to sell it in order to move here. But I was feeling very constricted after a certain point. Like this job that I had, it wasn't the greatest job for me. I was feeling like I knew from the beginning it wasn't the best job for me, but when I was there, I was just trying to make it a learning experience. I tried to get as much out of it. I tried to think of it as I'm getting paid to go to school. So basically, I got paid to go to online marketing school for 2 years. But you know, there's only so much that I could have learned, and there's only so much to expand in that position. So I was feeling like I'd run out of places to go and things to learn. And I also, I think I shouldn't have bought the apartment. Like at the time, it was exactly what I wanted, and I have a whole article about how I manifested my dream flat, which you should go and check out because it was pretty amazing. But in the end, I didn't really want to have a mortgage. I didn't want to be tied to this place for the next 25 years. I still had this desire to go to Europe. I have actually always, since I first came to Europe as a backpacker at the age of 22, I always thought I would move to Europe someday. And when I was younger, I thought it would be London. And then, like I said, I've been talking about Berlin for quite a while with my friends, and I just knew it was a young, creative, vibrant place. And I have no shade on Vancouver. I love Vancouver. Vancouver is always and will always be my home. But Vancouver, it can be a little problematic. It is very, very expensive. And because it is so expensive to buy property there, that means anyone that wants to have kids or anything like that, they usually have to leave the downtown area and go far out in the suburbs, which I think is really a shame, that you have to make those kinds of decisions as a young person. And you can either have your urban lifestyle and your friends, or you have to leave it all behind to go have kids. And like that seems to be the only option for people. So that is a problem. The other problem is, again, because of the real estate being so expensive, there's not that much room for creativity. So artists find it like a really hard go. It just doesn't have, like, you need to always worry about your next paycheck. You need to always worry about where your rent's coming from. You need to worry about all of those things, which means there's less time for you to put in being a creative person. It is also just like a very conservative place. Like the clubs all close early. Like it's just like a very North American style place. And when I lived in Vancouver, I never thought it was very uptight. I thought it was very chill West Coast vibes. But since I moved to Berlin, I can see how pretty uptight Vancouver can be. Sorry, Vancouver, but it's true. So my idea of Berlin, I definitely had romantic ideas about like David Bowie and Iggy Pop living here and recording albums, and like people coming to Berlin and being really creative and doing wonderful artsy things. So that, I admit, was like a big part of the draw, and that all turned out to be very much accurate. So my friends here, many of them are musicians or DJs or writers or photographers or artists, and many of them have found much more success here than they would have if they were in a place like Vancouver. So it really is a young, vibrant, creative city. There are art shows happening all the time. There are all kinds of crazy music events all the time. I just love living in a place with that kind of culture because it is so different from where I came from. And I haven't been going to art shows that much recently, but I love to go look at art. I love dancing. I love going to clubs and like just being in that kind of artistic, easygoing, fun atmosphere. Like I really love all of that stuff. So that is definitely a draw. When I first came to Berlin, I thought I would be here for 1 year, and it's been almost 4. And it's only now that I think maybe I could move somewhere else. But, Berlin isn't perfect either. Again, I mentioned at the beginning, I feel maybe a little bit strange for picking a northern European city to live in rather than a beautiful beachy place. And because I love all that stuff. I love yoga and green juice and like all the standard hippie stuff. And like that stuff is still like a little bit more difficult to find here. The streets I love they're covered in graffiti. I think it is vibrant and amazing and energetic, but some people think it looks dirty. It's just everybody has their own opinion about that. Like I love the culture here. It is just very, very relaxed. I live in a very Turkish neighborhood, a very Muslim neighborhood, and I just love where I live. I love walking down the street and smelling like cardamom and spices. It's just like I really, really love where I live. I really love Berlin in general. It is a wonderful, safe, amazing, creative, vibrant place. The downside of Berlin is, of course, the tagline of Berlin is always been, Berlin is poor but sexy. And I think in a lot of ways that is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like it is getting more popular and the rents are going up and things are changing. But I look back on me and my desires to be an entrepreneur. Like I came here and started my businesses. And I think living in this space where people are a little bit like not business people was maybe not the best idea as in terms of a business point of view. So you have to really be on your game to get up early, to not going to the party zone all the time, to find people that are also business people, because a lot of people are here to just chill out and do their thing, and it's not as driven as North America. In my community, anyways. Maybe there's some parts where it is, I don't know. But yeah, so I think in a little bit of a way, Berlin is maybe a little too chill. It allowed me to chill out maybe a little too much, but I still love it here. I'm so glad I came. It has greatly expanded my life. It has greatly expanded the way I look at myself. It has greatly expanded my confidence in myself, because now I know I can go anywhere in the world and I will find and create my own amazing community, because I have an amazing set of friends here and I'm so grateful for them. I mean, I miss my friends at home so much too, but it's such an empowering thing to realize you can go out in the world and make things happen and make the dream happen. Yeah, so again, yeah, life isn't absolutely perfect here. Like, I live with a roommate mostly because it is difficult. It is so difficult to find a flat here. And I don't speak German. My German is very, very minimal, so communication on things like that is challenging. I know I should learn German. I'm sorry, Germany. I'm so sorry. But where I live in Neukölln and Kreuzberg, like, there's a lot of expats here. It is shockingly easy to go without it. But yeah, so that is my Germany story, my moving to Berlin story, and I know some of you were curious about it, so I just wanted to share that. And this has nothing to do really with the law of attraction, other than me setting the intention to come here and actually making it happen. So yeah, so that's a little bit of a different story for you guys today. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. I hope that was interesting. But I will be back here soon with another video. So if you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button. I'll be back here soon with another law of attraction video next time. So until then, just remember, get ready for the miracle. Namaste.